Guess what? It's time for Sadiq Khan to be under a new investigation, this time over potentially cheating during the last election in London. Another story that's going to be completely or semi ignored by the mainstream media. Well, as you guys know, electoral fraud is a big problem in this country. Now, there are various ways you can cheat. You could rig the elections. You got the traditional ways of dealing with the ballot boxes, but also there are other methods that you can use to cheat during election times. And that's why we have guidelines. We have the Electoral Commission, we have the regulations to prevent you from doing so, yet it still happens. One of the ways is we have, during the election period, we have something called a purdah window period, which is to prevent any, for example, if you have public office, you can't use your platform to do political point scoring or use it for political campaigning. Now that's obvious, right? Yet this story is about our mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, who decided to completely ignore those rules. Most of you know about this new tube line in London, Elizabeth Line, Crossrail. This project has been going on for years. It was delayed over the last few years. I think wasted so much money on it. And because of the people he put in charge, the incompetent leadership, the management of TfL and the project itself, completely ruined it. Yet, do you know what happened? Well, one day before the elections in London, he decided to announce the launch and the opening of the tube line. He decided to use his public office platform to announce use a political statement, and of course that helped him and the Labour Party in London to get some credits, and there he took all the credits, of course, as usual. Now, this issue has been now raised by Grant Shapps, who's the Secretary of State for the same sector when it comes to transport, and he decided to raise the issue and complain to the authorities. And this was quite fascinating because I was expecting him to completely ignore it, but Emma Strain, who is the GLA, the Greater London Authority's monitoring officer, actually came back and said, further to my initial assessment, having taken into account the information provided by you and the view of the GLA's independent person, but not having carried out an investigation or made any findings in relation to the complaint, I am of the view that the complaint warrants further investigation. So they are officially going to be investigating it, and if they do it properly, then the case is very obvious. We all know exactly what happened. Now, Sadiq Khan was confronted by a journalist on this issue, and Grant Shapps raising this massive problem. Of course, his reaction was this.
Well, look, I'm not going to get into mudslinging like Shapps is. He needs to grow up and join the party, a legal, lawful party, by the way, not breaking any rules, which is what Londoners are doing in advance of the new line opening up on the 24th of May.
Okay, join the party. Is he drunk? So he initially said, I'm not going to get into these games like insult people and all this, like Grant Shapps. Then he decided to insult Grant Shapps. Yeah. How do we end up with these people in charge? What is wrong with us as people? Did we deserve this? Maybe we deserve this. Maybe we should actually go through this dark period, because I have no idea what to do about this. People like him. Now, another problem to add is that Elizabeth Line are now being governed by TfL, Transport for London. Just a reminder of what Sadiq Khan has done to our, not just city. You think it's just a London problem? No. If there's a problem in London, it affects the country because of taxation and big government. He currently has over 600 executives working there, and they're all getting over £100,000 a year. I mean, most of them are making more than the Prime Minister in his salary. What happened to the cost of living crisis? What happened to actual public sector in most countries is actually supposed to be safety net, and even as a job. You're not supposed to get to the public sector to get rich. You go to the private sector to get rich. You go to public sector to do public service, right? You don't get it for money. But I don't understand why he's doing all this and no one's talking about it. No one's complaining about any of these scandals that we're dealing with, but we have to do it on the channel. So if you want to support me and my work, then definitely subscribe. Feel free to become a member of the channel. The link is in the description. We're going to come back. We've got some big announcement, which is again ignored by the mainstream media, regarding the UK and Nigeria when it comes to the illegal migration crisis that we are dealing with. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.